All right, we have the worst villain fascists on the planet. They're embarrassing. These are not cool villains. These are complete dipshits. And the most worthless American on the planet right now is little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson. This guy, before he was Speaker of the House, spent an inordinate amount of time talking about homosexuals and porn, which I think is rather interesting. Mm-hmm. But we'll leave that up to the psychologists and psychiatrists to resolve. But one of his big overarching things is he's a big Jesus guy, and he's tight with the Lord. Even says on tape, God told me I was Moses, which is why we call him Little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson. Of course, the grinder is because in his home state of Louisiana, all over Elon Musk's website, there are lots and lots of sources that say that Little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson has a little grinder account, not to mention his roommate in Washington, D.C., an evangelical pastor that answers the door in his panties when Little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson gets home from work. But I digress. Little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson has become a gifted gaslighter, and he has press conferences all the time, you guys, all the time, 2 or 3 a day. Here he is. Play the clip.
The Democrats are required to open the government. They keep saying Republicans are in charge of government. We aren't, not in the Senate. 60 votes control the Senate, not a bare majority. And so point number one, Democrat votes are required to open the government. Point.
Okay.
What?
This is a complete lie. The Republicans are in charge of every lever of government. Completely every single lever. But I just want to say that every single day I get online and that little pipsqueak, Little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson, is in front of the cameras propagandizing and gaslighting. Where are the Democrats? Where's Hakeem? Why isn't he doing a complete PowerPoint presentation on the dementia walkabout that happened in Japan? Why isn't he doing a PowerPoint presentation on the breathtaking hypocrisy of Little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson lying through his teeth? Why isn't he ripping him to shreds, playing a clip of Moses Mike Grinder Johnson talking about what a Christian he is, and then talking about what a sin it is to lie? Why isn't he doing a clip of Moses Mike Grinder Johnson talking about how he and Jesus Christ and God are BFFs, the trifecta of all spirituality, and then do another clip of Moses Mike Grinder Johnson demeaning immigrant children? Why are we not doing that? Why are we always letting MAGA have the spotlight and propagandize? Pumps.
My guess is because it's the integrity politics. Like, we are still, as a party, under the impression that incremental change is happening, that the good guy wins. The good guy doesn't win. And you know how I know that? Because Donald Trump's president again, and he's a criminal, he's a fraudster, and he's a complete con man. And Mike Johnson, he has not sworn in a congressperson and sits there and says she needs to get to work. She can't get in the Capitol. Where's that PowerPoint presentation? Where is the demand of this man to tell the truth? You don't see it. It doesn't exist.
Okay, but here is Senator Gallego, and he really rips into it. And we need more of this all day, every day. Get groups of you together and do this. Play the clip.
Negotiate right now. By the way, how can I negotiate? The president's in Asia for 5 days. Johnson's basically keeping his the House of Representatives out till January to stop, and protect pedophiles. So who am I negotiating with right now?
All right, stop right there. Love it. That's exactly what Little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson is doing. He is protecting pedophiles while at the same time telling everybody in the United States that this is the most transparent president in history and that he's going to release the full files. You can't have it both ways, Little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson. You may be able to in your private life. Right. Little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson. You may be able to, during the day, act like you're married and that you're straight. And then at night, when you go home to your evangelical pastor roommate who answers the door in his panties, start doing gay stuff. You may be able to have it both ways there, but God damn it, Democrats, hold him accountable on this. He is protecting pedophiles, period. That's the end of the story. Either you're a big Christian or you're a big hypocrite. Moses Mike Johnson. So he needs to be called out all day, every day for his duplicity and his faux religion. He's nothing but a charlatan. He's nothing but an evening ass eater, and wake up and I'm morning, praise Jesus. Listen to what a hypocrite I am. And this is a layup, and the Democrats need to take him to task. And I'm proud of that senator right there that just did that. We need more of that all day, every day. Flood the zone.
I completely agree, and point out that Mike Johnson, his entire adult career, has protected one pedophile or another. This is not new for him. He protects pedophiles as a rule.
Tell them, Pumps, tell the listener, for new listeners, about his mentor.
Okay, so Mike Johnson was mentored by a guy that led the Southern Baptist Convention, and he had created a law school, and Mike Johnson was going to be the dean because he was such a pillar of the community. It was a theologically based law school, which how do you do that? Motherfucker comes out. He is sexually abusing kids at these conventions, and Mike Johnson, there was no way he could not have known. Full stop. This went on for decades. Mike Johnson was his little yes man. So Mike Johnson, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he digs it. I don't know if he has no moral conscience. I don't know what his deal is, but I do know his adult career has been protecting pedophiles.
All right. Next up, we have Kanks. And here he is. This is a really interesting little clip here. Here he is kind of reminiscing on his relationship with Elon. And I want to play this, and then we're all going to dissect it together as a family. Play the clip.
I think it's good. I mean, you saw that during Charlie's beautiful tribute. Elon came up. It's good with Elon. I like Elon. I've always liked Elon. Elon's good.
Have you talked to him since the memorial?
On and off a little bit. Yeah, very little. Nothing much. Look, he's a nice guy, and he's a very capable guy. I've always liked him. He had a bad spell. He had a bad period. He had a bad moment. It was a stupid moment in his life. Very stupid. I'm sure he'd tell you that. But I like Elon, and I suspect I'll always like him.
Okay. This whole thing, he had a bad spell, blah, blah, blah. So I started thinking about it, and I was like, what is he talking about? Well, he's talking about when Elon and Trump broke up. And then Elon got to Twitter, and he said he'll never release the Epstein files because he's in them.
Right.
Bookmark this tweet. That's what Trump is talking about. But you noticed how gingerly he went into that. If anybody else did that to him, you guys, he would never forget it. He would go on and on and on about it. But if you notice the people that have compromising information on Kanks, he always gives them a pass. Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Vladimir Putin, Bibi Netanyahu, and Elon Musk. And Elon Musk and Donald Trump have mutually assured destruction. I think they've told him, listen up, motherfucker. I think Stephen Miller, Kanks have said, listen up, motherfucker. We know what you did when we gave you the keys to Doge. We know that you went in and got all the data. We know that you broke crimes. We know that you shut down investigations. If you say one more thing about Elon, we're going to turn the DOJ on you. And then Elon's like, okay, if you do that, then when I was in there, I got pictures of all the Epstein files, and I'm going to blow the whistle on that. So that's why there is this mutually assured dance between the two of them, in my opinion. Because if anybody else picked up Kanks and threw him under the bus the way Elon Musk did, he would lose his mind. It would be cap locks tweets at 4 a.m. all the time. He would never get over it, just like he's not over Joe Biden beating him in 2020.
Right.
It would be that much worse. But this tells you it's 100 million% true that he's in him. Musk is in it as well, and he's seen it. And little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson knows. Cash Money Cha-Ching Patel knows. Cross-bearing, crazy ass, what's her name? Pam Bondi.
Caroline. Oh.
Pam Bondi, the, what is she? Attorney General. They all know this. They all know. And they sit there and masquerade. Look at us. We're these big Christians. We care about the marginalized, us and JC, Titus Ticks. And then they go out and they protect pedophiles all day, every day. And I just thought that the way he phrased that about Elon Musk was rather interesting and rather familiar, because it's the same way he talks about Putin. It's the same way he talks about Jeffrey Epstein, the same way he talks about Ghislaine Maxwell. The common thread, the through line with all of those is they all have compromising information on kinks that would completely end the MAGA movement.
Yeah, the only thing we were missing in that was I wish him well. That was the only thing we were missing, because we know how much Trump loves to wish people that have shit on him well.
Okay, moving along. We have, as all of this is going on, there is real shit that's happening to the people that live in this country, many of whom voted for him. And here is a little report on the pain that is coming to everyday Americans November 1st. Play the clip.
November 1st, millions of Americans on Obamacare subsidies will start getting notified that their health insurance premiums are skyrocketing for next year. At the same time, the U.S. Department of Agriculture says it will not use $6 billion in its contingency fund to cover food stamp benefits, which are set to expire. Some military families rely on those benefits even while they're receiving paychecks. But according to the Treasury Secretary, soon that pay may not be coming as well.
So, I mean, this is what government is supposed to do. And you have these cruel psychopaths that are running it, masquerading as though they're these huge chosen Christians. And they're getting away with a lot of this stuff. And at the end of the day, a lot of their supporters who, when we podcast, I think, God, I fucking hate triple Trumpers. But I don't want these people to suffer.
Right.
My progressive nature is whatever took them to that vote. It's not my business, but it is such a travesty that people can work 40, 50 hours a week in this country and go medically bankrupt. It's so unfortunate that people on the military payroll also need to get supplemental government assistance to feed their families, while Kanks hasn't paid taxes in decades. Elon Musk is a corporate welfare queen. Jeff Bezos, a corporate welfare queen that milks off of all of the infrastructure, doesn't pay any additional infrastructure tax. And that these people just have it so easy. And I read a report this morning that Amazon is firing 14,000 people, and they plan to double that very soon because of all of this AI boom.
Right.
And there's no incentive from this MAGA administration, the so-called economic populist MAGA movement, to regulate this. Their only incentive is to favor the billionaires that humiliated themselves and had the show and tell dementia hour with Kanks and sat there and told him how great he was when they know better. If you were to hook him up to truth serum and a polygraph, do you think this man's a great president? And they try to say yes, they would fail it. Because they know, which leads me to every single one of you at home watching this are a million times more liberated than a billionaire. And we have this growing up in America. We think if we're rich, we're free. We think if we're rich, it will solve all of our problems. There's no question. I've been poor and I've been rich. And there's no question that having money to pay your bills makes life easier. But it doesn't make you happy, nor does it liberate you. And look no further than all of these billionaires who have made money off of all of us, all of our hard work, exploited the labor. And then they've tried to demonize people's ability to form unions. And they demonize the poor, and they don't want to pay you a livable wage. And everything is built for them. And this administration will continue to favor them as long as they humiliate themselves, which I think one of the worst things on the planet to be right now would be a billionaire, because you'd have to go kiss that miserable sack of shit's dementia-ridden, poop-filled diaper, bruised hands, swollen cankles ass. And there isn't a bank account big enough that I would want to do that.
Absolutely not. And you know what? Just really, when you read about how they're taking food that could be distributed to help people and they're burning it or letting it rot, they like that people are hungry. They enjoy the cruelty. It is stunning to me that a presidential administration would take food that is sitting in a warehouse and not distribute it out of spite, and then sit back and criticize people that need food, some of which are in the military. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest thing that Democrats should message right now, Pumps, is that Republican policies mask up in the cross and mask up as being charitable Christians, but really what they do is attack the poor. All Republican policies prior to MAGA and now on MAGA, it's like on steroids, are disproportionately cruel and target the poor. The big, beautiful bill, the big stinking pile of dog shit bill was the biggest transfer of wealth from working class Americans to billionaires who, if we tax them more, their life would change 0%. But we've enabled a society where we enable toxic people's entitlement, and we think that somebody's worth, like who they are, is the size of how many zeros are behind a number in their bank account. And what an indictment on unregulated capitalism and the ugliness that it creates, that the richest country this world has ever seen treats working class people and poor people like shit. And MAGA celebrates it all in the name of their Lord and personal Savior, Jesus Christ. And it's bullshit. And the Democrats need to start calling them out. Get up to the mic all day, every day. Call them out for the hypocrites that they are. What do you have to lose? All right, listen, buy our book, Pump, show them. Do you have a book?
Got it.
There it is. There she is. There's our Vanna White, but much prettier. Life is a Lazy Susan of shit sandwiches. It's linked right below in the show notes. Subscribe and like this video, and we'll be back later with more news.